I'd like to thank Mr. Fallis and the Bethel Tate administration for letting me speak today. I want to start out with a little background and history about me. From the day I was born to the age of 5, I was passed along to many foster homes, never really finding a place I could call home. Memories floated in my mind of when I was with my biological mother and her different boyfriends. Also memories about different foster homes and how many different moms and dads I had. With my biological mother, I faced many challenges, physically and mentally. I would remember the days when we had nothing to eat. So at night, we would wait for Baskin Robbins to dump their donuts in the dumpster that they did not sell for the day so we could eat. The times my mother would leave me and my sister for days to fend for ourselves. The nights my sister and I would be beaten for no reason by our mother's boyfriends. And the nights we stayed up listening to her boyfriends beat up her. In the foster homes, there was no physical abuse, just a lot of different unfair treatment. There was one foster home where the kids could eat as much as they want for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But as a foster kid in their house, we were allowed to have one serving. They could have as many bath or showers that they wanted during the week. We got to pick one day out of the week. At the age of 5, I was rushed to the hospital after my mother and her boyfriend got in a fight. I couldn't take it anymore. I had a nervous breakdown at the age of 5. They removed me from my mother, and I was placed in a foster home in Williamsburg, Ohio. This was different from any other place that I've ever been. Everyone showed me love, and I was treated just like their own biological kids. That's when I decided at the age of 5, this was my opportunity to put the past behind me and be positive with what I have. It seems sometimes when we're drawn a bad hand in life, we use that as an excuse to never get better, to never overcome things. When things come at us, we just give up and think we're always supposed to get the bad end of things. I see it in the media all the time. I see it in communities all the time. My mom and dad's an alcoholic. Well, that's what I got to be. My mom and dad never got an education, so I don't need an education. I decided at the age of 5, the one big key in life was a positive attitude. I decided at the age of 5 that life is not fair, but I would make the best of every situation. And trust me, I made the best of every situation. The first time I was at the foster home in Williamsburg, they had a cookout, and them cheeseburgers were on the grill, something I wasn't used to. I ate 6 of them. My stomach was killing me. But I took advantage of the situation and opportunity. Now my primary care physician is ordering cholesterol medicine. So be careful for the opportunities you do take advantage of. With that attitude, I excelled in school and sports. I stayed away from negative people that tried to dampen my dreams. Then came graduation, and everything was looking bright. I received National Honor Society. I was president of senior class, and I had many basketball scholarships. Life couldn't get any better for me. I found my soulmate in a town not far from Williamsburg, in Bethel, Ohio. The woman I love with all my heart, and if it wasn't for her in this next story, I probably wouldn't be standing here, as she was with me and she reacted fast and did the right thing. So I'm very grateful for her, and our anniversary's Friday, and I love you. When shortly after that, we started a family, and I landed a great job. Then one night at the age 34, life handed our family a blow. I was in the best shape of my life physically. Mentally, I was struggling with some anxiety, but physically, I was in shape. I was running 3 miles a day, and I felt great. We just put our kids to bed, and usually my wife will relax in bed and read a book while I mosey on downstairs and play Xbox till about 2 or 3 in the morning. That night, she asked me if I wanted to watch TV. So we went downstairs and we watched TV. About 10:45 that night, my heart stopped beating. My wife called 911 and started to perform CPR on me. She couldn't get me back. The EMTs arrived, and after many shocks, they couldn't revive me either. They rushed me to Anderson Mercy, and after an hour, they got me back. My heart stopped for an hour. I was clinically dead for over an hour. I went into a coma for 2 days. They told my wife that I would not come out of the coma probably, and if I did, I would have major brain damage. But when she's around me and I tell the story, she says I have major brain damage anyway. 2 days later, I popped out of the coma. No memory loss. And they had ran every test they possibly could run, and they couldn't find anything wrong with my heart. Shortly after I got home from the hospital, I decided to go out and shoot basketball in the driveway. I was shooting basketball for about 20 minutes, and my wife asked me if I wanted to run up to CVS with her. And I ran up to CVS. In the middle of CVS, I started getting sharp pains in my chest. And I was thinking to myself, oh, this can't be happening again. I just got out of the hospital with a heart issue. Well, I had a buddy rush me to the emergency room. After I got checked in, a doctor came through the door, and he didn't say a word. He just stared at me. And he had tears coming down his face. And he said, "You were dead. You were dead." And that's the same doctor that told me and my wife I was 1 in 20 million to survive that and not have any damage to my heart, brain, or organs. Guys, who would think a very active, in shape 34-year-old could be fighting for their life? I was way too young for this to happen to me. But we all think we're invincible. I know I did. And I know I definitely in high school thought I was. I know I thought this before this happened to me. And we think we have all the time in the world. Well, my time ended for over an hour on December 20th of 2010. So I look back thinking about when was the last time I told my wife I loved her? When was the last time I hugged my kids? And I also thought about that would have been the last time I told my wife I loved her, and would have been the last time I told my kid or hugged my kids. When something like this happens to you, you realize that life is just not a game. So each morning you wake up and you give thanks for all the things you have. It don't have to be material things. It could be a great personality or a loving parent or a friend. Every second, every breath is a blessing. So make the most of it with making the right decisions. Not the decisions that you think will make you look cool in front of your friends, but the decisions you won't regret when you go to bed at night you can feel good about. The decisions of drinking and getting in your car and driving so your friends don't call you a wimp. That kills people. The decisions that you make when you become a mother or a father before you graduate, it's not a smart decision. I didn't realize what happened to me until I got out of the hospital. Things were going so good in my life, and in a flash, it was gone. I couldn't work for 6 months because of the pacemaker and defibrillator they put in my chest. And I always made great money, and my wife never had to work. She could be a homemaker. She was finishing up college at NKU to graduate to be a teacher, which I told her to go for a doctor. She went for a teacher. But we had no income now, and we lost our house, and we lost our cars. And for a man, that plays out on you mentally real bad when you're able to provide for your family, then all of a sudden, everything's being taken away from you. So I had to make a choice. Do I play the life sucks card? We were starting all over again. I decided not to make excuses and have people feel sorry for me, because that only lasts for so long. Trust me, when they said I couldn't work for 6 months, I loved it. When they told me to take it easy, I loved it. I tried to soak it up. Hey, honey, can you give me this? Honey, can you give me that? It worked for about 2 weeks. And as strong as my wife is, she finally stood up and said, hey, the test come back, your heart's fine, get up. You can do it yourself. And I'm glad she did that. I made the choices to move on, but this time to do things with more meaning, because we never know when our time is up. We will all have tough things happen to us in our life. We will all face challenges. This is how we grow into a better person, when we can overcome them and do them better the second time. There is no champion or winner that is born. Champions and winners are made. They are made by making good decisions. They are made by overcoming obstacles. They are made by never giving up. They don't let things in life that go bad for them keep them from attaining their goals. Life is good. Every second, every minute, and every day. Make good decisions. Have integrity, high morals, and never give up. Keep a positive attitude and be a champion and a winner. Thank you so much.